The XMAX 250 reigns alone in the maxi scooter market, and now for 2025 it has received important updates in our country. And in this video, you will find out everything about the new Yamaha XMAX ABS connected, technical features, everything that has changed from the previous version to this one, colors, available price, insurance cost, its fuel consumption, performance in the city and on the highway, and of course my honest opinion with the positive and negative points. If you're new here, I'm Amanda Pagliari, and this is the most charming motorcycle channel in Brazil, which also brings you the best two-wheel reviews. So please leave a like to support the channel and subscribe because there are new videos every week. Of course, all about motorcycles. In Brazil, it was launched in 2019, and since then, it's been an absolute sales success. It's the best selling in its category. However, we also need to point out that here in our country, we don't have a competitor that matches it in terms of quality, price, and of course, network reach. And this model was introduced in 2024 with many changes. The engine remains the same, however, we had changes in design and especially in technology. And what has changed? Let's start here with the design. There was a change in the structure of the motorcycle in its dimensions. In practice, it's now a bike with narrower dimensions. Regarding the weight, it gained 2 kilograms of net weight, meaning with all the fluids included, it now weighs 181 kilograms. The XMAX has always been synonymous with design, winning several awards in Europe for this version here. It still has that characteristic XMAX design, however with more fluid lines without losing that sporty look. Take a look at this before and after and comment below which one you liked more, the previous version of the XMAX or this current version. What caught my attention the most was this side here. In the previous version, there was a gap. It looked like it was really skinny, right? But this bodywork here that goes up kind of covered that gap, right? So I thought it looked much more robust, even more like a big scooter, right? Like a big bike. The suspension keeps the conventional telescopic fork, however, for this version it gained 10 millimeters, now having 110 millimeters of travel at the front, and at the rear it still has twin shocks with 92 millimeters of travel with adjustable spring preload. Regarding the lighting set, we had some changes. Here on the headlight, the X became more noticeable, creating the illusion. We have daytime running lights here, but the headlight, when we turn on the scooter, that's when the headlight and the high beam turn on as well. And it also has a flasher here. Look how cool that is. But I think what became most evident here on this scooter, the change, was the turn signals, which moved from the fairing and are now integrated into this windshield assembly. And I thought it was really cool. Look, the turn signal here. Let me turn on the hazard lights. And the new thing now for 2025 is that the turn signals are LED. That's right. In the previous version, they were conventional bulbs, and now it's full LED. We had a change in the windshield, which now has a new shape, but it still requires tools for adjustment. You can't adjust it electronically or with a lever. You need tools to choose the best height for you. Another new feature that I really liked was the seat. It's really much nicer now with a premium look. So here we have two types of fabric. Where the rider sits, there's a more non-slip fabric to give more stability to whoever is riding. And here, in the front and in the passenger area, we have something like velvet, a special kind of leather here. On the rider's lower back, XMAX is engraved, and on the back there's a very beautiful metal piece with Yamaha written on it. They really put a lot of effort into the seat, which has changed. It's much softer and more comfortable. I'll get on here so you can see. Look, I'm 5'7", and with the center stand, I can put both feet on the ground. The seat height hasn't changed compared to the previous version. However, this part here has become narrower. And with that, you don't need to spread your legs too much to have control of the scooter. In practice, shorter men and women will do better. My tip is for you to go to the Yamaha dealership and take a test ride so you can find out if the scooter is right for you. The riding position is comfortable in relation to the handlebars. My legs are at a 90-degree angle. I really like this position, Could I put them up here in the front? Not for me, since I have really long legs, right? So honestly, it's not even that comfortable, to be honest. So I consider that this scooter only has one riding position with your legs at a 90-degree angle. If you want to stretch them out a bit here, you can. It's up to you. So it's really a scooter that fits very well, and the passenger footrests here, look, are made of retractable aluminum, okay? You fit here, put the passenger on. I'll even get on so you can see how the passenger fits really well on this scooter. It's really, really comfortable. You can, right? Whoever sits here fit really well on the seat and hold on to the handle here without any difficulty, bringing more safety and comfort to whoever sits back here. But the change I like the most here for this 2025 version is the dashboard. I loved it. Now you have two screens. I'll show them to you here. The XMAX still has the smart key presence sensor, so you don't need to put the key in the ignition, just be near it and it will recognize you. Just turn the knob and that's it. When you turn it on, the Yamaha logo will appear here. There are two screens, right? Let's focus on the top one first. So we have very basic information like the speedometer, fuel gauge, and total odometer. It displays these pieces of information. The warning is already at the bottom of the page. I believe it's for legal reasons, right? For the process, so Yamaha already exempts itself from responsibility here. So you always have to click OK, accept, and that's it. You'll have more complete information from the onboard computer. So here we have a liquid crystal display with a black background, but down here there's a colored thin film transistor screen. Really cool. And right away we can see information like average speed, fuel gauge here. We also have instant consumption. As we scroll down, it shows the trip and more. The temperature, here the engine temperature, the battery, anyway, lots of information. But what's coolest, in my opinion, is right here, which is the map. It's really interesting. You have the map here through the Garmin app. It's free. I downloaded it on my phone. Here I put a random address just so we can see it here. And it gives you here in the left corner a turn by turn and a bigger map. If you want to reduce, if you want, for example, to increase the viewing area, then you press this button here to zoom out and it gives you a bigger, wider view of the map. If you want to zoom in, just press here and it will give you a more specific view. And the most interesting thing is that it shows you the temperature, how the weather will be along your route. In this case here, it's telling me 24 degrees and it's saying there will be sun and rain. So for us motorcyclists, we can already get prepared, grab our raincoat or even postpone our trip. We can also switch the display. We can press here and get the onboard computer information, right? We can press here and I choose the screen you will see. In this case, I chose to display fuel consumption, okay? But you can set it up here. This dashboard, guys, has a lot of information. We click here on the little check mark. We can listen, click, change the music, right? So for example, I'm gonna play music here on my phone. I put the weekend here. I can turn up the volume, right? Or I can hold here and it will change the song, right? Look how cool that is. I can control my phone's music right here on my wrist. That's really cool. You need to pair your helmet directly with your phone. You don't need to pair the helmet with the headset. Besides that, we have more things. We have the settings section, right? So the traction control here, look, we can turn it off. The connection options include various info, clock, brightness, and units. Time information is available here. We have notifications and calls here, right? So we click here. I have two emails, one from BMW and another from XIM. All right. The navigation information. You can add the tachometer and speedometer there, as I mentioned. That's all. Let me put it on the speedometer so you can see. Here is the global positioning system part. You click, there's the onboard computer. You click one more time and it puts the speedometer here, really big, so you don't need to look up here at the top. Or if you put it here, if you want, you can put the tachometer, which is the rev counter. Look, it's up to you. But I really found this dashboard to be super complete. Here on the outside are the indicator lights. So you have traction control here when you turn it off, ABS information. Let me turn it on again so you can see, look. all the indicator lights come on, and also the little key icon shows up saying it's nearby, right? And you just need to check here and that's it. Oh, and up here, when you connect it to your phone, it shows your phone's battery and the app, so everything's fine, everything's connected. And besides connectivity with the Garmin app, so you can use the global positioning system, it also connects with the Yamaha app, which lets you access a lot of information directly from your phone. And that noise you're hearing is to remind you that you haven't turned it off. And because of that, you could end up draining your scooter's battery. But anyway, the dashboard is really complete with 2 free apps that you can download for both iOS, Apple, or Android. And if you want to protect the dashboard of your XMAX, which looks nice, right?
The dashboard is made of Teflon, so use Protl's screen protectors.
But it's not just for the XMAX, okay? Protly has screen protectors for almost every motorcycle model out there. I'm sure you have a screen protector on your phone, so why wouldn't you put one on your motorcycle or scooter, which is much more expensive? Different motorcycle types are available with matte or glossy finish options. The installation is very easy, just follow the instructions in the kit that comes in the package. Protol's films don't use glue. Instead, they use the same electrostatic technology as cell phones and protect against damage caused by scratches, dust, sunlight, and wear over time. It doesn't come off in water, hides existing scratches, and doesn't leave fingerprints. And if you need to remove the film, it will come off without damaging your panel or leaving any residue. It's really worth it for you to use Protly's films. They cost much less than you think, and you protect your motorcycle's panel and even increase its value when you go to sell it. To buy, just click the link in the description or point your phone's camera at the quick response code on the screen and use my discount code AMANDA20. I really recommend this one. And here on the right side of the handlebar, we have the button to cut the engine current, and here the ignition button and the hazard lights. And here on the left side are the buttons for you to control the dashboard, both this one and this home button. Here is the horn, turn signal to the left and to the right. Here is the high beam, and down here is the passing light. We have 2 compartments for you to store your belongings. Here on the right side, it's keyless, so you just press and it opens. So here, for example, are the scooter keys that Yamaha sent me. And here on the left side, you have a compartment that is locked, so even if you want to open it here, you can't. How do you open it? With the key, you turn it here to open. It has to be on open, and you open the LED here. Look at that. Now you can put your more valuable belongings here, for example. And on this side, you have a Type-C socket. So another change we have for this version is that the socket is now USB-C. Here in this tunnel is the fuel tank, which has a capacity of 13.2 liters of gasoline. And to open it, you just turn it here and that's it. You unscrew it here and fill up your scooter. The engine, adapted for the Pro Moto 5, remains unchanged in its technical specifications. It's the same single-cylinder engine with 250 cubic centimeters liquid cooling that produces 22.8 horsepower of maximum power and 2.5 kilogram force-meter of torque. It's an automatic scooter with continuously variable transmission, so basically you just accelerate and brake. Here on the right handle is the front brake and on the left is the rear brake. The brakes remain unchanged, featuring disc brakes on both wheels, 10.5 inches front and 9.64 inches rear, along with 2-channel ABS for both wheels. And the wheels are still alloy, 15-inch in the front and 14-inch in the rear. And as you can see, it already comes with a center stand to help you park on uneven ground, since it doesn't have a parking brake. So you can't put it in first gear, for example, and park it on an incline or decline like you would with a conventional motorcycle. And if you want to put a top case here on your XMAX to further increase its cargo capacity, I recommend you get the accessories from Scam. They have a top case support here, so you can put a really nice case on your XMAX. They have a license plate reinforcement, global positioning system mount, and handguards to give you more comfort when hitting the road. They are partners here on the channel and have the best accessories for you to equip your XMAX or any other type of motorcycle or scooter. To check out the entire Yamaha XMAX lineup and other models of motorcycles and scooters, I'll leave the link here in the description, or you can point your phone's camera at the quick response code on the screen. And for you to buy and receive it at your home, I'll leave a link here in the description. The space under the XMAX seat has always been a positive point. You can fit a lot of things in there. Just so you have an idea, you can fit 2 full-face helmets down here at the bottom. I put my helmet, backpack, and some belongings in here. Here on the inside, there's an LED light to help you see your belongings at night. That's it. It fits many things, which is definitely a positive aspect of this space. And now that I've already shown you everything about the new XMAX, it's time to hit the road and also the city and finish the video with the positive and negative points. And if you're enjoying this video and finding it really complete, how about leaving a like? You help and motivate me to make more videos like this for free here on the internet. Now hop on my back! The hallway I'm walking through here is wide, right? And the XMAX, it does well. For the city, for those looking for agility in their daily routine, it delivers. Of course, you need to take into consideration that it's quite wide. It doesn't have the same agility as an NMAX, for example, which is smaller, has smaller dimensions, and handles better, let's say, in heavy traffic. But for a maxi scooter, it does well. It really does well. Very agile, the scooter is easy to handle. So you can definitely take it on. To go to work on the rotation day, it will definitely suit your needs. Right off the bat, it's not the strongest scooter in the world. Even the NMAX seems to take off faster than the XMAX. The NMAX, which is less powerful. But we need to remember that the XMAX is heavier, so you need to take that into consideration. On the highway, that's where you really see what it's made for, the engine, the performance. At first, it might be a little weak, it's true, but the scooter's weight and power don't bother me. Some might find it sluggish, but I don't think so. Certainly, if it were lighter or more powerful, that would improve the balance. But overall, I think it does really well for what it's meant to do. In traffic lanes, aside from the size issue that you need to consider, it performs really well. With the scooter in hand, great handling, so you'll be able to ride through heavy traffic lanes. You'll get through congested traffic without any trouble. You'll have this shield here to protect you, and you won't need to shift gears, right? With all the practicality and agility that scooters have, right? Space under the seat, which means just happiness. On smooth asphalt like this, look, the XMAX does really well. One good thing, but then the rough asphalt starts, and then it starts to get a little bumpy. There's no way around it. Scooter suspension isn't all that great. You can adjust the preload in the rear, but don't be fooled. It's a bit stiff, both front and rear. But at least for me, it didn't bottom out, even with a passenger. The previous version used to scrape underneath when carrying a passenger. But this one here, look, it only scraped once when there was kind of a ditch. I had a passenger and there was nothing I could do, right? It was really steep, but I went over all the speed bumps in my neighborhood and it didn't scrape underneath with the passenger. So I think they managed to fix that. So that's an improvement in that aspect. But that's it, guys. Enough riding around the city with it. It's approved for the city. You can ride it with all the agility. Now let's hit the road here with the XMAX 250 because that's really what it's made for. It's a maxi scooter for you to travel on the highway with a lot of safety and sturdiness. To take corners, the XMAX is really easy to handle. It's really agile. Look at this. Its handling is very well tuned. You might think, wow, almost 200 kilograms, more than 180 kilograms. But when you accelerate and ride it, it feels really easy to control. It's a bit bulky to maneuver, I know, but when you're riding it, it's really easy to handle. It corners well, it's stable. I just think the tire could be better, but that's okay. At least you can change it. For those who live in one city and work in another, this scooter will do the job well. People who take the highway, I don't know, live in Mogi das Cruzes, work in São Paulo, or vice versa. People may live in Alphaville and work in São Paulo or vice versa. Some also commute between São Paulo and Osasco or Guarulhos. I'm using the São Paulo region as an example since that's where I reside, but the concept applies elsewhere too. The place where we take the highway, it adapts well and you can hit the road very safely. You don't have to push it to the limit to overtake or reach another speed. It ends up having a lot of power. Plus, it's more robust, so that brings more safety on the road. And if you have an XMAX 250, write down below how it performs on the road for you. And now let's wrap up the video with the pros and cons. Regarding fuel consumption, we know it really depends on the rider's style. The more you accelerate, the more you'll spend. There's no way around it. I combined city and highway averages to calculate the overall average acceleration. Aiming for top speed, it averaged around 16 miles per hour. There's the eco mode that shows up on the dashboard so you can manage your fuel economy, which is really important. The rider's driving style is also a crucial factor that cannot be avoided. Riding with a passenger or extra weight will increase fuel consumption. If you have a new XMAX, mention it below. If you have an older one too, write down what kind of mileage you get with it. After all, the engine is the same. The main change is the power-to-weight ratio. The scooter's weight increased while its horsepower remained the same. So it might be that the fuel consumption gets a little worse. But with this scooter here, I calculated this average. And to ride more safely, you need to have insurance for your XMAX. So Amanda, but is the scooter targeted? Do you really need insurance? Look, if I could, I'd even get insurance for a bicycle. Even my cell phone has insurance. You know how it is, right? If the thieves take it, you're left with nothing. Especially if you're still paying for your motorcycle or scooter, just imagine the payment booklet won't disappear, the installments won't go away just because your vehicle was stolen or taken. That's why I think it's worth investing a little in insurance so you don't end up stranded. And for you, my loyal follower, there's a discount coupon on the Protect Me platform. You can get a quote for your motorcycle or scooter insurance, no matter the style, even if your bike is discontinued. Just click the link in the description or the quick response code on the screen and that's it. Your insurance profile will come up just for you, with your age, the neighborhood where you live, your exact zone improvement plan code, and the motorcycle you have. I'm going to do a quote here for a profile. I put in a 40-year-old man and I'm going to enter the zone improvement plan code for Mogi das Cruzes, which is where I am right now. And that's it. Several options have already come up here, from insurers registered with superintendents of private insurance. It's not vehicle protection, so you can trust it. And look, there's the cheapest one, right? Which covers theft and robbery, 100% FIP compensation with 24-hour towing. So if something happens, you have coverage for up to 200 kilometers. The price dropped from 806 reais to 610 reais. Wow, from 806 reais to 610 reais. Wow, what a huge discount, huh? To get the discount, just point your phone's camera at the quick response code or use the link in the description and you'll get the discounted quote right away. Amanda, I want full coverage with parts and fairings, though they're pricey, but look at that huge discount. Porto Seguro full coverage insurance includes theft and robbery protection, collision and repairs with a 7,000 reais deductible, third-party material damage and bodily injury coverage, and roadside assistance up to 300 kilometers. The annual amount with my discount coupon totaled 1,241 Rs.0. In these amounts I mentioned, you can pay in installments. Look how great at Protect Me. It's very easy, no bureaucracy. And if you have any questions, just send a message on WhatsApp and they'll answer you. I trust them. Hundreds of followers have already insured their motorcycles with a discount using my link and the quick response code. Get a quote from Protect Me too. Just click and you're done. I'll now discuss the pros and cons in my opinion. Remember, I don't own the truth. You're free to agree, disagree, or share your own thoughts respectfully in the comments. But first, subscribe to Motoplay, the most charming, best-smelling channel in Brazil. Just click below, subscribe, like the video, and then comment away. The XMAX's award-winning design is its first positive point. It's charming and often the reason people buy it. Now it looks even more like a maxi scooter, with a more robust front and side. The front has an interesting X-shaped look, which is another positive aspect. Another positive point is that it's a good scooter for the highway. I know a lot of people complain that it's a bit sluggish at the start and all, but on the highway, I think it performs well and delivers what it's supposed to, so you can ride it with great performance and safety. Another positive point is that it's good for carrying a passenger, so if you're going to take your partner, whether it's your wife or your husband, if it's a woman riding, it's great for that too. You can take someone with a lot of comfort because this seat here is very comfortable, it's wide, and you can easily grab the handle here without any effort. If you add a little top case with a backrest, the trip becomes even more enjoyable. So that's a positive point. Another positive point is the comfort of this scooter. Regarding the seat here for the rider, the position of the handlebars in your legs, you will ride very comfortably, whether in the city or also on the road. Another positive point is the handling. Despite weighing 398 pounds, you maintain high agility in the city and also on the road when you're taking turns. That's a really good thing, a positive point. Another interesting thing is the smart key. Only those who have a motorcycle or a scooter with this convenience know how much of a positive point it is. So it's a positive point. And another thing I notice in Yamaha scooters with the smart key is the issue when you forget the button. When it's in the off position, it gives you an audible warning, even if you leave the motorcycle running. For example, if I leave it running here for a long time and it happens, it will warn you. Why is this a positive point in my opinion? Because I have a scooter with this smart key technology that doesn't have an audible warning. And in practice, I've left it running many times. I simply parked, got off the scooter and forgot to turn the little button. And then when I checked the next day, the battery was dead. So I think this ends up being a good thing to remind us to turn the little button. Connectivity is another positive point. With the Yamaha app, you have a lot of information directly on your phone. There's even a ranking with other Yamaha owners. That's a really cool thing. Another thing I can't forget to mention is the global positioning system here on the dashboard. Okay, it's not maps, it's not Waze, which I'm more used to, but I thought the Garmin was efficient, it connected well, it connected quickly. It doesn't have all the addresses I searched for, it has most of them, but I think as more people use it, especially here in Brazil, the Garmin team will keep updating it to fit our reality in Brazil. Because many times these scooters, this app is more complete in Europe and the United States, and people kind of forget about Brazil. But overall, it worked well. I thought it was cool. It brings a lot of information. So that's a positive point. The dashboard, of course, is another positive point. There are two dashboards, but the one you'll look at the most is the colored thin film transistor down here. It's a very beautiful dashboard with great visibility. The dashboard is user-friendly, which is another positive aspect. I really enjoyed it. The buttons on the left handle are also convenient, allowing for easy control. That's a plus. Traction control is another great feature. While it may not be essential given the engine size and horsepower, having more technology is always better, right? Another advantage is the generous underseat storage, which can accommodate 2 helmets and more. Adding a top case would further enhance its capacity, particularly for travel. That's another positive aspect. And another positive point is the fixed price maintenance, which means that even before you buy it, you already know how much you're going to spend. The prices are displayed on the screen, but you can also find them on Yamaha's website under the fixed price maintenance section, along with the corresponding mileage. Now I'll discuss the negatives. I must admit they've reduced compared to the prior version. In the previous version, I talked about the turn signals and mentioned that the kickstand would scrape. However, after testing with passengers of different weights, it didn't scrape, suggesting Yamaha may have made changes to prevent this issue. If you have a new XMAX connected and this happened to you, write it down here below. But in general, I think it's hard to find negative points about this scooter, but I did find a few, okay?
And the first one is the adjustment with a tool here.
The windshield. So I'll put it like this. Windshield as a negative point. For me, the height wasn't enough. It threw all the turbulence right in my face. I felt it lacked a deflector or something similar. The adjustment requires a tool, which is a bit inconvenient, but it doesn't have to be electronic. But if it had a manual adjustment, the lever type, that would help a lot. And if it had a bigger windscreen, maybe with a different design, for me, since I'm tall, it would help a lot. So that's a negative point in this aspect. I felt like something was missing. Another bad thing, in my opinion, is the weight. Okay, when you're riding it, you don't feel the weight. It's actually agile. I mentioned that as a positive point, but it gained 2 more kilograms. Oh my, and it ends up feeling a bit bulky, heavy. But who knows, maybe in the future, Yamaha will manage to bring more technology to reduce the weight or increase the horsepower. That brings up a point. The XMAX is a little sluggish at takeoff. So a lot of people have told me, "Oh, Amanda, I prefer the NMAX because it's much stronger at takeoff." And many owners don't like this about the XMAX. There are a lot of people who end up installing a kit. Malossi, right? To make it quicker, to give it more pep at takeoff. But that's up to each person. Do you have an XMAX or have you ever ridden one? Write down here below because I want to know your opinion. Another drawback is the price. Since launch, I found it a bit pricey and the cost has continued to increase. Compared to its competitors, it's well positioned. Some are absurdly more expensive. But it's important to mention that the price ends up making it difficult or even impossible to buy the XMAX. So that's a downside. Another negative point about this scooter is the tires. I think the tire that comes with it is really bad. I rode it in the rain on different terrains, and I could really feel that the tire is bad. Many people complain saying, "I thought the tire was really bad." The good news is that you can replace it when it wears out if you have enough money. For someone wealthy, you can just go there with ProZero and change the tire, and you'll be doing a favor for your safety and your riding, for sure. That's a negative point here. Maybe a lot of people won't agree with me, but I think the front brake feels a little spongy. The ABS is a bit intrusive, but that doesn't really bother me. It's not a bad thing for me because if the ABS kicked in, it means it saved me. But I do think the brake feels a bit spongy. I thought that in the previous version, and I still think so in this one. But it's nothing that makes me feel unsafe. I think it's something that could be improved in the future. What about you? Are there more positive or negative points about the XMAX 250? Write it down below because I want to know your opinion. And it's available in 3 colors with the suggested retail price starting at 36,390 Rs. So that's it. If you liked the video, leave a like and share it with your friends to learn about all the changes and new features of the XMAX 250 connected ABS from Yamaha. Up here, I left a really cool video of one of its competitors from the NGOs, also with a lot of technology and a super cool dashboard. I'm sure you'll like it. And down here, I left another really cool video for you. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you're one of my loyal subscribers, check if YouTube hasn't removed your subscription. They're doing that to everyone. And if you want to become a channel member, just click the Become a Member link down below to get access to exclusive content, Amanda's calendar, photos, videos firsthand, and much more. See you next time, Moto Kiss!